Hello, welcome back to the coffee break. I'm your host, Ron Ross. So I want to thank all of you who sent shout outs, gave likes, comments to the last video, which was on implementing and installing feedback loops. Based on that response, I want to take this a little bit further and I want to talk about if you've been ever given the feedback that strategic thinking is something you need to improve upon to really expand your responsibilities to get to the next level. It's something I just heard from a client related to someone I was coaching. What was said specifically was, he has good skills, but some of his peers are worried he doesn't think strategically enough. I tend to hear this all the time, and I think I want to do something about it because I have a couple important beliefs I want to share. Number one is I believe that most of you have probably 80% of the components that it takes to be really good strategic thinkers. The second thing is I don't think it's so much about being a strategic thinker. I think the challenge is communicating from a strategic standpoint. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and I'll do a little bit more about that later on. And the third thing I believe is sometimes strategic thinking is used as a catch-all to say, I don't think she has the it factor, so we're going to put it into strategic thinking and say she doesn't have that, because that's just vague enough that it doesn't give enough information. So with that in mind, I want to demystify what strategic thinking is. There's 7 steps. The 7th step is about communicating. The first 6 steps are components that you have, you can borrow, and we'll talk about that. So the first thing is the idea of foresight. And everybody has the ability to look ahead. Some of us look ahead for just a couple of months. Some of us can look ahead, a couple of years out. And some people have the ability to look 5, 10, 15 years ahead. So the best strategic thinkers and planners have the ability to go way out to the future and see where the industry, see where the organization is headed. The good news is it doesn't matter where you are. What matters most is if you don't have that ability to go far in the future, collaborate, empower, partner with somebody who does. But you need a way to kind of figure that out. The second thing is you need the ability to generate ideas. So strategic thinkers are idea people. They can generate a lot of ideas that really are going to help with the opportunities, the threats, and all the things that could happen in the future. If you don't have an ability to generate a lot of ideas, borrow, empower, collaborate with somebody who does. So none of this stuff is disqualifying no matter what your natural abilities are. The third thing is the ability to converge now, to logically organize the ideas so others can follow your breadcrumbs. It doesn't matter if you're this brilliant thinker and you can opine theories of the universe. If you can't explain it to someone by having logical ideas that flow A, B, C, D, E, F, G, where we can follow, you won't get credit for it. So same thing. If you're not a naturally organized thinker, if organization is not your natural forte, what do? That's right. You empower, you borrow, you collaborate. Exactly. So the next thing you need, and I think most of you have this, is specific knowledge about your department. What are the levers and how does it empower the greater organization? The next component is the thing that I think a lot of us get tripped up on. It is general business knowledge. And I want to be clear on that. What I'm talking about is an MBA light level understanding of the whole operation. How does marketing work? How does finance work? How does IT work? What is the customer experience like? And how does it all fit together? And where does your department, where does your functional area make a difference? So really strategic thinkers have the ability to see all of this, and they're able to communicate that. The next thing is industry knowledge. Where's the industry going to be in the next 15 years, in the next 10 years? The good news is most industries have industry reports. They have people that are actually looking at long-term industry trends. You have to borrow it by reading it. You have to talk to others who have that ability to kind of think long range. And then where's your organization need to be to overcome the threats, to overcome the weaknesses, to take advantage of the opportunities and the strengths that you absolutely have. And then how does your department or functional area fit in? And then you create that plan that will absolutely put you in the best position in the next 5 years, next 10 years, next 15 years. And the most important thing is the ability to communicate this in a coherent fashion that says, she does understand where things are headed, and I see that she's thinking about how this fits into long-term trends, and she's plotting a path backwards. And I see how her strategies are going to enable her team and enable us as a company to accomplish our long-term strategic objectives. And that is what strategic thinking and strategic communication is really about. So don't fall a victim to this generic, she is not a strategic thinker or strategic communicator. You can fix this. You have to borrow, empower, and collaborate with others that have strengths and skills that you don't have. I am going to be putting out a webinar for those of you who say, I am tired of hearing this, I want to do something about this, and look for an announcement about a course around this. I'm piloting this. I am so passionate about empowering people around this. I want those of you who long to have greater responsibility, who don't want to get stymied by not being considered a strategic thinker and a strategic communicator. I want to give you the skills and abilities to be able to do that. So that's my shtick for this week. So until the next coffee break, I'm out. I'm your host, Ron Ross. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Pass this on to other movers and shakers, those middle people who want to make a difference in their organizations and communities. Now you know what's going to happen next. The music's going to cue. It's going to fade to black. The logo will happen. I'm out. We'll see you the next time. Talk to you soon. And that's